Welcome to DFS Karma, where we talk about our favorite fantasy sports plays for football, basketball, baseball, and pretty much everything else. Be sure to check out and create an account with all of our partners, such as MonkeyKnifeFight.online, PrizePicks.online, and StatHero.online. Use the promo code KARMA on any of these sites to get an exclusive deposit bonus. And don't forget to check out all of our free fantasy content on DFSKarma.com, as well as our own premium plays. Without further ado, let's get the show on the road. Please welcome today's hosts.
All right, what is up, everybody? Thanks for joining once again on the Teen It Up podcast edition. I'm your host, AC, with DFS Karma and Bet Karma. I got my co-host, Sam Sherman. How are you doing, Sam, this evening? How was last week? I know we had some big wins over at Bet Karma. We had some wins at DFS Karma. We'll talk about everything. I got to finally watch some golf this week. That was awesome. Did you actually get to watch a lot of golf? How did it go for you in DFS betting and all the other above? And then we'll kind of get into this week at the Travelers Championship at Rivers Highlands.
Yeah, dude, DFS golf is so weird. Like 2 weeks ago, I had 3 for 6 that cashed with like not a ton of sweat in cash. And then this week I had like a 4 of 6 with like almost 500 points, which didn't even hit double up. So I don't know. I was down on the week. We both were on Webb. I'm having a crazy one and done season, honestly. We should all just be following me over at Bet Karma, dude. That's like my 6th winner this year. It's been crazy, but yeah, I enjoyed the tournament. I enjoyed watching it. It was an insane leaderboard, an insane finish, but dude, it's Webb. Wow. Webb is really, really good, dude. He might win a couple times this year, but I don't know.
Webb's the man. Webb was the chalk this week. You know, I mean, it's crazy to see how many people were on him. We put our bets on him Monday. We had a few big wins from some customers in Bet Karma. Shout out to the betkarma.com website. A lot of things happening over there. So quick housekeeping, obviously all of our DFS content at dfskarma.com as well. All of the projections portal goes live. Sam, I don't know if you updated that yet. That's honestly, no doubt, my favorite new feature. Sorry, of all sports. The projected ownerships is a great column to look at later in the week. Everything's color coded, so you can really dive through things. And really, I love using that column in specific for, you know, your leverage, your deep GPP type stuff. But other than that, yeah, Webb, big win this week. It'll be really interesting to, you know, I really like doing these podcasts on Mondays because I don't like listening to anyone else. I like kind of putting our own thoughts together organically and kind of coming to terms on things. I mean, my bets are already out. We'll go through some of them. I dropped that in the Bet Karma Discord already. And again, I like to get my bets out before I start hearing things, seeing things, making me sway one way or the other. And I know you're the same way, Sam. So I think you have 2 bets already, and we'll kind of get to those a little bit later. So again, everything's at dfskarma.com. Let's get into it, Sam. Awesome week. Just watching golf, like I said. Thrilling freaking finish. Let's be real. Like there was 20 guys within 3 strokes at one point in time. I really don't remember. Like I'm sitting there on Sunday, like I don't remember another tournament like this. I mean, do you, like, or is that just me not watching golf recently enough?
No, dude. I mean, I swear, like I think at one point, I think I heard on the broadcast. I think at one point it was like 21 guys were within 2 of the lead on like the back 9. Like, what the hell was that? Like, oh my God. I mean,
so that wasn't abnormal, right? That wasn't me just tripping, thinking, like, man,
dude, that wasn't. Are you kidding me? That was. I mean, I have my guys that screw me time and time again. I mean, I don't even hate the guy, but I mean, like, I was just tilting early on Sunday because I know we both had Webb tickets. I had him in one and done. I had him like in a good amount of DFS, and Hatton just apparently was just never gonna miss a putt. And I was like, this is so annoying. Like. I was like, this is gonna happen again. Like I knew it's like Xander's done to me. It's like so many guys have done to me. I was like, how does this keep happening? But
I don't know how I got off Hatton early in the week. I was on him, looked at his price point, and then I got off him. And
you read it out well for me. I was just like, you know what? He hasn't played. He's gonna be chalk. I'll take the risk that he might be rusty. apparently wasn't rusty at all. So lesson learned. But I mean, I think one thing I kind of took away from that week, and let me kind of get to this one, is it's something I think I kind of made a mistake these first 2 weeks, and that it's like, oh, well, it's not a bomber's course, and it's not for big hitters, but it doesn't mean that the big hitters can't compete and do well. It more means that the shorter hitters just can compete, like Webb, like Answer, like all these guys, where it's like, it doesn't mean that Brooks and Bryson are going to suck. It just means that they don't have the distinct advantage. And I think something is it kind of gets lost a little bit. I think it's important to remember, especially this week, where we're now at a course, River Highlands, which is under 7,000 yards, par 70. You know, the fairways are wide, so yeah, maybe it's helpful for the bigger hitters who are less accurate. But I think there's no reason to avoid the big hitters. It's more just that it evens the playing field and doesn't take the shorter guys out of it. So that's just something I kind of took away from the last 2 weeks.
We kind of somewhat briefed on that last week. We kind of said, I remember talking about buyer beware, thinking about, the people out there listening to all the podcasts, and shout out to you if you are listening to us. You can give us a great review or a not great review on, your Apple's, iTunes, Android, YouTube. We love the comments. Sam and I are always checking out the comments on YouTube. But I said buyer beware because of that exact statement. Like, even I kind of get sucked into that vortex a little bit sometimes. But, I went back at it, and I played a guy like Dustin Johnson in my cash lineup last week. And we talked about it on the podcast. I mean, I made a bold statement, which I didn't think was so bold. I said, how do you not play Dustin Johnson at this price? And sure enough, as the week went on and we started talking more in our Discord chat, it just seemed that his ownership was going down. And obviously you updated your projection ownership. That's where I get the numbers from. And, I think he had a 28th place, but because there were so many guys up there, I mean, he played fine. He scored a ton of DraftKings points. I mean, he had a triple on, I think, the first round. He had a triple, and if he didn't have that, I mean, he's right there. He's right there for the win. So, again, for the haters out there, there's a lot of lineups out there that were the exact same lineups from some companies, and I guess there was a good way to make a lineup last week. I toyed with this same lineup I saw everywhere, and I'm just glad that I tend to go a little bit more unique. And Sam and I talk about it every podcast. Try to go a little bit unique. I mean, it's freaking golf. One guy's going to outscore another guy by like 6 or 7 points, and the other guy's probably going to be like 15% more owned. I mean, I actually always want the guy who's a little bit less owned, probably with, you would think, not enough upside for whatever freaking reasons for that week. So just my 2 cents. So, all right, let's give it what the people want. Let's start getting into it. As always, we kind of break this podcast up into 3 tiers, talk about the top tier, mid tier, low tier. We'll start off by looking at our kind of value plays, aka cash plays, your building blocks, and then we'll look for some leverage plays. And no, we're not going to talk about every golfer. Believe me, we'll be here all night. Those are the worst kind of podcasts out there that go through every golfer. So we're sorry if we don't touch on some of the golfers that you want us to, but we're just not going to talk about everybody. All right, with that being said, Sam, I'll lead us off. I'll take the poll this week. We're starting with Brooks, 10,000, all the way up to Rory. We got DeChambeau, we got JT, we got our boy Webb, who I think is going to be interesting this week because, I don't know, DFS is weird, man. Like, they got their fix, they got their Webb last week in all their main lineups and in their betting tickets. I just foresee Webb potentially going a little bit lower owned than we think. And I know that Sam's yelled at me for it in the past. That doesn't mean he's going to be low owned. I just don't think he's going to be, quote unquote, chalk. That's just my 2 cents. So
I agree.
When I'm first looking at this, again, it's the same story for the last 3-4 years I'm doing these podcasts with golf. I'm not touching any of these guys in cash games. So to me, there's 0 building blocks for me in this range. I think you're making a huge mistake if you start with any of these guys. Can you luck out? Can you crush? Hell yeah. I mean, you could literally win $1 million, obviously. But if there is a guy, I probably am going right back to Webb. And my God, JT, you were all over him last week in your content, everything. He was lower owned than people thought. JT, for me, is probably the next guy, but it really is hard to overlook Brooks. I mean, this guy just – Brooks is kind of like our Xander a couple years ago. I mean, you got to keep playing Brooks because people might talk about this not being a quote-unquote bomber's course, blah, blah, blah. Brooks looked really good this week. So those are probably the three guys I'm looking into.
Yeah, I feel pretty confident that Bryson's just going to win this tournament by like 5 shots.
Yeah.
He looks so good. He had every chance to win this week. I think he'll be uber owned. Last week I was kind of going to be on him and I got off him late in the week. I wouldn't want to say that burned me. I mean, he did really well, but it's tough now. He's 11,000. You kind of got to, to pay that off. He's probably got to come about top 5, but that seems pretty good. He ranks number 1 in almost everything for me. So I like Bryson. I'm going to once again go back to Rahm, dude. Rahm, he keeps having, it's like, the first week he misses the cut. Then this week he had like one kind of crappy round that kind of held him back. He ended up finishing like, I don't even know, 40th or something. But those are probably my 2 favorites. I agree with you on Webb. Webb will be lower owned than he should. I have no interest in betting Webb, but I definitely will probably end up playing him in GPP for sure. Because people just, like we always said, because he won, now he's tired. He's not going to do well just because he's tired.
Those are the best. We talked about that last week with Berger. Oh, my God. And
oh, my God.
I'm punching myself in the face. I mean, honestly, I wanted to jump off a bridge because I thought my main 3 lineups, I had Berger. And, of course, I had this core that was just on fire. Just the right low-owned pieces. Your Adam Hadwins, your boy, Brian Harman. I played him. I mean, Harman was like, I think, 13 under. So, again, you need guys like that. And I had a Berger, and I forget who I paired it with. Last second, I changed to Hideki because I thought I needed Hideki and somebody else. And I'm so mad I didn't play him because we talked about it on the podcast. Like, you got to play the guys that are just
that may have been the first week I didn't bet Carlos Ortiz top 20 or Munoz. It gutted me. That was brutal.
Welcome to DFS golf. But hey, shout out to us. We've been riding the Ortiz train, I think, more than most people. Even in Matt, our boy Matt, shout out to Matt. He called it out, calling the Munoz, the Ortiz guys, all the Sam guys up top at the leaderboard. They're basically kind of going into almost Saturday into Sunday. So it was a really good week for guys that, we've been talking about for quite a while. Real quick, I wanted to touch on something so I don't get any hate. Yes, I'm playing Bryson. I play literally Bryson every week. The guy's he's been in the top 10, I feel like, for the last 10 years. You got to play Bryson. I knew you were actually going to talk about him. So it's, how do you not have exposure in one of your 3 lineups? I will be fading Rory, and I'm probably, as of the second, going to fade Rahm. Again, I don't play all the guys. It's just who I am. I make 2 hedge lineups. It's probably going to be Bryson, JT, and a little Webb because I'm Brooks. All right, let's move on. The next range, we go from Patrick Cantlay, who's back in the field. And if we look at our notes, we checked that out today in Discord. Obviously, he was a mega kind of chalk play last year here. I think he's going to get some love, but he is a weird price at 9,800. And then we'll go down to let's stop at Sergio. I think that's an interesting play this week, 8,500. So Sergio, Patrick Cantlay, I'll let you take the lead here. Clearly, you're going to be having a couple building blocks in this range. So who are you looking at as like 2 of your building blocks? I guess you can lead off with Bubba if you want to just talk about him. I'm not playing Bubba. That's just me. But
so my favorite in the range you just said, and my third one will be the obvious from last week. If you don't play Sung Jae, I think you're an idiot. I really do. I think you're a moron. I hope people seriously fade Sung Jae because he missed the cut. That's hilarious to me. But I don't know why that price drop happened. That was ridiculous. But he's an auto cash play for me. But my favorite plays in the range are probably Justin Rose, who I think also could win. I bet him at 28-1. I think that's a ridiculous price. He should be probably like 20. And then, dude, I hate that I'm going to play Paul Casey. I hate Paul Casey.
You see his tournament history here? It's really good.
He's such an ass. He's such an ass. All he does is screw me. But he's normally consistent, except when I play him. So I'll maybe play him in cash, but I also hate his guts, so I probably won't. But I like them too. I'll let you talk about who's probably going to win the tournament at 9,400. But those are probably my 2 favorite guys in this range.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm sitting here. If anyone on YouTube, shout out to our YouTube family. You can pause the screen. I'm laughing when you're calling people idiots. I gotta admit, when I looked at Sungjae, I'm like, at first, because I like to make a temporary lineup like without even thinking or looking at anything. When you told me pricing was out, I kind of just made a cash build or whatever, and I didn't put Sungjae in there. And I actually looked at him. I'm like, I'm not playing Sungjae. Like, but then I thought about it later in the day. I'm like, damn, I probably should. He probably is going to be in my cash lineup, and it does make a little bit more sense. I actually just clicked on his name, and he -4.5 strokes putting, this week. So let's be real. He's like you said, he's a freaking robot. It does suck that he didn't perform. Maybe that is the route. Like, just lock him in. Hopefully people do fade him. I will do some more research on that, I guess, but I think that's a great take. To follow up on your Paul Casey take, I mean, this dude is like, this is a Paul Casey course. I mean, it's not just, hey, go look at his history. I mean, yes, the history is astronomical. I think he's got like 4 top 5s here in his last 5 events. I'm looking at my notes last year. It says expected ownership over 25 to 30% in all formats. He's 100% in must-play cash games. Interesting fade in tourneys. I mean, the only reason why we're not saying 100% lock is because we haven't seen him. So the only thing I'll say is I kind of thought about this with Hatton. I kind of thought about this with, I forget who else right now off the top of my head. There was a couple other guys, and I'm like, well, he hasn't played, COVID. I don't know, man. These guys are just so good. I mean, are they really staying inside with their families the whole time? They've probably been practicing golf to use their scapegoat to get out of the house a little bit. So maybe Casey's actually putting well right now. I mean, this course is set up for him. I mean, I would assume Casey's probably a lot. Like, if I'm playing heads up this week and somebody has Casey and I don't, I wouldn't bat an eye. I think it's a great play. The only thing I hesitate is the COVID thing. So there's that. Now, to me, the lock of the century this week, if you want to hold the mic, it's Abraham Answer. I don't know. I mean, you didn't mention him. I don't know. Maybe you just assumed I would, but
I did.
To me, Answer, this is the combination of the burger with the Bryson type of analogy. Like, golf is a little different than some other sports. Don't fade the guys that are freaking absolutely on fire. Like, golf is that sport. Like,
but here's the thing: people will, because he's tired.
Yes, he's tired. You're right. He's very tired. He's a young guy, very tired. This course is literally, the funny thing is the setup for these first 3 courses since post-COVID, they're all the same type of setup. I mean, that's actually the irony. So it's like, you just kind of follow the cookie crumbs. The bets I dropped, okay, Answer's one of them. I'm not going to give all my bets out, by the way. You got to go to the Bet Karma Discord to get them all. But to me, my cookie trail this week is I'm kind of tailing the same guys I've been on. I'm kind of tailing the same guys who are hot. Like, who cares? There's not enough to be said. Like, the dude ranks first since we started, strokes gained tee to green, approach, 3rd in DraftKings points, 3rd in opportunities gained. That's a huge one. I love that stat. 7th in 30.
Miss a green on Sunday.
Dude, he's a machine. And again, you and I started these podcasts over a year ago. We've been talking Answer in our tiers since he was in the 6Ks. Just saying.
I know.
Like, these guys do rise. There's other guys we'll talk about maybe even later today. I mean, this is a great price point. I think it's actually fair. I think if he's over 9,000, obviously that's too much. If Answer was like at mid-8s, he'd be industry chalk. But I think the 9 gives some people pause because it's a 9. Last thing before we kind of talk about a couple of leverage things. I love Sergio. Like, I kind of always have loved Sergio. I'm glad to see he's coming back. Dude, he finished strong. I mean, I had a little outright bet that I thought he'd kind of get there. I think Sergio. I think you got to play Sergio in cash games. I really do this week. And I don't think
his ball striking last week, he missed 5 putts inside 5 feet. He should have won the tournament, literally.
This is Sergio that we've been looking for. I was actually really impressed here in his interview saying, Sergio's got a little DJ in him where he's at the point of his career. He doesn't need to prove anything. Like, why does he? But he seems actually really determined. So, when these guys get the sniff that they're close, they're going to go for it. So, I mean, this is a Sergio course. This is an Answer course. This is a Paul Casey course. Last thing I will say, I freaking, like you hinted, I love Dustin Johnson. If you actually look at the stats, they actually don't look amazing, but he's trending. Man, he was right there. I'm still kind of salty about my top 10. I didn't get on him. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to play. I think DJ's in a weird range because there's so many other guys. People are going to go up top, or they're going to go to this range. I think I never play Xander, so I'm not going to play him. Obviously, I like Rose. I keep playing him, but DJ I think is kind of going to go overlooked.
Dude, one of the best sports comps of the week, Riviera. Know who's dominated Riviera? Dustin Johnson.
And dude, Dustin. Let's be real. Like his big long-term problem is kind of putting. It's not the worst, but he's been really bad lately.
Horrible.
We get some POA this week, right? I mean, that's what.
It's like Bentgrass with like some POA. So yeah, I mean, it's like if you want a comp course, you have Riviera, DJ's 1, Pebble Beach, DJ's 1, Torrey Pines, DJ's play. I mean, dude, it's like unfortunately that makes Xander into the equation as well. But I'm just saying I like Dustin a lot. I don't care if he's chalk. I'm gonna play him. But
and last thing, because we got to kind of get out of this range here. DJ, yes, this is one of my other bets. I'm not going to reveal them all, but dude, 28-1. I mean, yes, this field's kind of stacked, but I'm sorry. DJ, just think about this. I'm going back to this and it's redundant. If he doesn't triple that par 3, he finishes top 3. He's in the run. He's priced at over 10K this week. You know what I mean? Like he's down to 18-1 at Sportsbook, so one hole changes everything. I mean, look at the numbers. Like he actually, his ball striking approach, his accuracy was great this week. He just wasn't there with the putter and had a couple blow up holes. All right, any other? I mean, I think here's who I think is going to be really low owned. Reed. I'm sorry. I'm not touching. I mean, Bubba. I guess I'll have exposure, but I'm not touching him in cash games. I think it's a mistake if you play Bubba in cash games. That's just my 2 cents. I think Rose actually and DJ are going to go a little overlooked. I mean, Morikawa, people just love Morikawa. I'm one of them, but I think he does go a little bit lower owned. So let's go down. Spieth, 8,400. He's just atrocious. Down to, let's stop at 75 this week, and then we'll do a little fourth tier just because. Let's go from Connors to Spieth. Start with you.
Spieth showed his true colors in the weekend. Not playing him. I love Woodland. I like that he faltered. He kept it, dude. It's so funny. Woodland, if you look at his round or his weekend and everything, there's like 3 holes where he just ejected that cost him all finishing position. Like he did not play that bad. Also, Woodland excels on short courses. Love him this week. Might play him in cash. I'm also just such a fanboy of Woodland, so that's fine. Finau, no. Fitzpatrick, can't stand him. I think leverage play that I really kind of like, and because he sucked ass 2 weeks ago, I think Leishman comes in low owned.
I agree with that statement. He's gonna be low owned.
I think my chalk bomb of the week has got to be Hovland. Hovland's gonna be 20% owned.
Man, that's a good take. I can't believe I'm starting to. I saw early, obviously, kind of projections and stuff like that, and I get it. We actually both love Hovland. I do, but if he's going to be like kind of uber chalk, I mean, I'm not playing him here. I don't know. Let me pull up his stats real quick. Were you surprised? Let's just go back and forth because I think it helps people. Why was Finau so owned in cash games last week? I mean, honestly,
I don't know.
I love him. You know that.
Yeah.
Why? Why was he so high?
I don't know. I think people saw. I mean, he tried to trend it up the weekend at Schwab, which is fine. I just, it's the same reason that I don't really want to play Hovland is because, and it's why I'm also going to probably, unfortunately, even though I like him a lot, I will probably bet him. And I think I haven't decided yet, but Neiman. I mean, I just know long-term they're not good putters. They caught lightning in a bottle a little bit, but like Hovland is a horrible short game. I mean, he is terrible short game. I mean, Neiman is a terrible putter and Finau is a horrible putter. So it's like, I know they did fine. Maybe Finau's gotten a little better, but like, I just would rather on a course like this, I would much rather you have to hit the green and regulation is so important. What these guys do, but putting is so important because the green's a little bigger than last week. So I think that just gives such a lean to the guys who are good around the greens and on the greens. And that for me is just not Finau at all. Never.
Speaking of Finau, he gained 4 strokes around the green last week. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm actually so happy that the Finau players did not really benefit because he faltered big, like he should have. I mean, I love Finau. Like you just gotta. There's certain Finau courses that I really don't want any part of. I mean, the only disagreement I have here with you is I kind of am trending lighter and lighter and lighter on Woodland over time. It's been kind of maybe a long-term thing. Maybe it burns me.
He's always owned. I'll give you that. He's always owned. People just
I'm not going to be playing Woodland, just for the record. Again, got to take stances. I kind of agree with you. I'll probably have Hovland exposure, but definitely not in cash. And if he's going to trend towards cash, I'm a little bit surprised by that. Let's talk about Neiman. This is going to be the final pick that I reveal. The others, if you want to tail us and get on the winning bandwagon again, come check out the Discord. It's free at Bet Karma. I love Neiman. Always have. Why is he not getting the Hovland treatment this week? I know it's Monday. I think he'll get on.
I just think people saw Hovland and he's this young gun. I mean, I think Neiman will be owned because people will look at last week, number one. Number two, they'll look at last year he played this course. He's played this course one time, he finished 5th. He's gonna get owned. I mean, I'm just saying, I mean, a chalk Neiman, I will there's a good chance I'll end up playing Neiman. Like, I'll swap if he's not going to be. I mean, I have no chance. Dude, Neiman, I love Neiman. I mean, Neiman, I bet every single week. So, I mean, I like him. I just know he's a bad putter.
Here's another guy that you and I are like oil and water on. But, man, if I stay on brand, can you believe that there's actually a chance? Let's just pretend like COVID was the opening of a new season. Can you believe there's a chance that I start off the season 3 straight weeks playing Matty Fitzmagic in cash games? I think there's a strong possibility that I go back down that route. I agree, but I disagree. So hear me out. If you look at the stats, like overall, you're probably, I mean, they're kind of somewhat contradictory. But the one thing that I absolutely love, and yes, he's gaining a lot of strokes with his putter. So you could be on the other side of the fence and be like, but dude, he's going to eventually come down, regress with the putter. Yes, I get it. He's hitting every fairway, and this isn't just the last couple weeks. This is what this guy does. Every fairway, he's gaining an astronomical strokes with the good drives. On top of that, his greens in regulation, it's literally on autopilot. So, yeah, so what? He's putting well, but he's putting himself in position, and I want that this week. I mean, he's a lineup filler for me. His price really didn't rise too much. He's kind of around that same ballpark, and I think people just hate him because he looks like he's 12. I mean, that's just my opinion, but
he just is. The only reason I don't like him, honestly, and I'll shout out my friend Cam, who thinks he's a GOAT. He's not. Fitzpatrick is a complete loser. He just has such low winning upside, in my opinion. That's my thing. Like, I get at 8,100, you don't have to win the tournament, but like when I play guys above 8,000, not every time, but in general, I think they should have a chance to win the tournament. It's why I almost never play Finau. Because
agreed, but I disagree though, just because I look at him in the betting markets and he's always got more win equity than everybody kind of thinks. And this is why we're on the pod. Like, we're not going to agree on everything. That's just me. And maybe it finally burns me this week. Maybe his putter goes cold, but ranks number 1 in par 5s too. I mean, clearly he's just the three strokes a hole, and he puts it right there, and he's putting well. But last couple things, man, just funny how DFS works. Here's a couple guys that are going to be so low owned. I don't know if I'm going to go there. It's just too early in the week, but Poulter's going to be so low owned. I can tell you right now. He just is. And he played well last week. So we need to look into that. Kisner, no one's going to play. Last week, a lot of people played him in cash games. No one's going to play him. Dahmen. I think people are going to be off Dahmen. I think that's a mistake. But I'm right back. Right back. This is a Dahmen course. Like, I actually wanted to bet him. The only reason I didn't was because I liked my card. And there's so many studs in the field. That's the problem when you're betting so many guys in the 40, 50, 60K range, which is, not going to pan out every week, clearly. But I like Dahmen a lot this week. And frankly, I just don't think people are really going to kind of go back there. We said down to 7,500
on Sunday, and I'm right back.
How about your boy? You didn't mention him. I'm playing Brian Harman. You kind of got me on him. I'll admit, at some point, I got to take an L. I'm taking an L. You know what? I'll drink my L. Shout out to the High Noon out there. Anybody from High Noon. I'm now David Portnight. I'm repping. I love it. So High Noon. I'm drinking it. I'm taking my L right now.
I'm taking a phrase out of your playbook, dude. This is a Brian Harman course.
It is. He played well last year, I think. And honestly, Brian Harman's the type of guy that last week, and you can pull this up. I don't have it in front of me. I know he finished at like 13 under or something because I played him in one of my GPPs. Nobody's going to talk about that this week except
Harmon's history the last 5 years: 8th, 6th, 35th, miscut 3rd. Pretty good.
It's a Brian Harman course, man. Last guy, and then let's go to the dark. Last guy. You just at this point, and we've talked about this every week, you have to play Corey Connors somewhere. I mean, honestly, you can play him in cash games. Seriously. Like, it's not a bad play. I mean, Corey Connors, when you physically watch his swing, he's got every tool in the toolbox, minus, as we know, like some of these other guys, his around the green game and the putter times. But Corey Connors, man, he's so good. This is Corey Connors again. Just roll with him again. All right, so let's go below. I'm going to give it back to you. I do think it's going to get dicey here. There's a lot of names. I mean, yeah, Keegan Bradley, whatever. I mean, this is his home course, blah, blah, blah.
I'm playing Keegan.
I don't know if I can do that. I have a new rule after what he did to me last year several times. I'm not playing Keegan in cash. I instituted that law, and that's a law in my playbook. I'm never playing him. I mean, you guys are playing him in cash. Good luck. I mean, I'm telling you, I know this is course. You saw my notes last year. I called out a top 5, as you pointed out, and he top 5 last year. So I think he's there, but I'm not touching it. Don't even think about Kevin Na for me. All right, so who are you looking at in this range and below? I mean, there's a lot of guys down in the 6K range, too.
All right. Well, first of all, I think Scotty Scheffler is a complete misprice. I think he's an auto cash play along with Sung Ji Im. 7,100, I will always play Kevin Streelman, former winner of the Travelers Championship. Kevin Streelman, might I add. Absolute GOAT. I'll be playing him maybe in cash. I like Max Homa a lot.
I love Max Homa with you. Shout out to your research. You got me on him. And I tailed your bet. 150 to 1. Max Homa can win. He has winning upside.
Keep going. He has so much upside. I'm going right back after he burned me. Ryan Moore, dude, he got close to almost kind of goading to make the cut. He kind of collapsed a little bit. I have to shout out, my friend Sean is obsessed with Patrick Rogers. I'm playing Patrick Rogers, dude. He was looked pretty good. If he didn't suck at putting, he could he had a terrible Friday, so he missed the cut, but I like him. And then Doc Redman, dude. Doc Redman is my showdown staple. That dude is an absolute beast.
Did I tell you the story on how I ended up on him because of you?
Yeah, you were hammered, dude. And you ended up and made 2,000. I lost $200.
Dude, honestly, I mean, again, this is why we're in the Discord chats. Not only we fun, tilt in, talking shit to each other, but I'm making my showdown core, and I loved it. I loved my showdown core. But, there was a cheap guy I needed. And I literally just was like, all right, I hate all these guys, whatever. And I saw Sam posted Doc in his core. And I was like, he must be onto something. I literally didn't research. It was just all my head stuff. And, that paid off really well.
Dude, he made 2 eagles in the first 5 holes. I was like, this is a joke. I was like, this is so lucky. Vaughn Taylor, dude, 6,500. Vaughn Taylor course.
That's my guy. Vaughn Taylor's my guy, dude. This is a Vaughn Taylor course. I play him every week. He's 3% owned every week. I have him
projected right now at 3.5%.
See, there you go.
My massive dart, if you're playing 20 lineups, put him in 2. Just because I kind of like the Riviera comp. His last start was Riviera in March. He finished 10th. James Hahn, 6,200.
James Hahn, that's the road to back.
Yeah,
I've had some success with him in the past, but I don't know if I can go there.
Dude, I have to ask you about this. He's so cheap. Grillo, dude, 6,300. I mean, he's
kidding me. Why would you even ask me about that guy? Now, here's another guy. I actually played him in my one showdown. I forget which showdown. I don't even know why I was playing so much showdown. It's because I started winning, and it was fun this weekend. Honestly, for me, I find myself. I forget sometimes that there's even a showdown for PGA, but it is awesome to get some hedges. But yes, Grillo, this is a Grillo course. I will agree with you. And honestly, he didn't look that bad. I don't have the stats in front of me. The problem is never play Grillo in cash.
No. Dude, 6,300, he literally just has to make the cut, and he's 1. Dude, he's 25th in my approach range, 17th opportunities gained, 23rd in strokes gained on Pete Dye courses. His putting needs some work, but that's every week. But dude, 6,300, that is crazy crazy.
Anyone else down here you're looking at?
I am very tempted to play Steph Straka, but I probably won't.
The only guys I'm looking at deep here, and honestly, like, I don't know if I'm gonna have time to make 20 lineups this week. That's kind of what I've been doing. That's what I was doing before COVID, was just getting the 20 max entry stuff in. You know, I'm always a sucker for a lineup or two of my guy Kyle Stanley. Nobody ever plays him. This is a Kyle Stanley course, and
so bad.
6,200.
So bad.
He is, but I mean, there's just a lot of loyalty to Kyle Stanley from a few years ago. So I pay his dividends. Here's another guy, and I'm going to go back to this guy. We didn't mention him. This will probably be the last guy that I'll talk about in specific, unless you have any last takes. This guy hurt me this weekend, and I'm not going to go there in cash games at all. But Jim Furyk, you know, he's only got so much gas left in the tank. He's $7,000. Last week was a Jim Furyk course. This week is a Jim Furyk course. There were some people who played him in cash last week, like me. Not that high owned. I think he was like 7%, 5%. I don't even know what he was. He fit my lineup perfect. I'm playing Jim Furyk, so the haters can hate. Jim Furyk's gonna be fine. You know, I think a couple years ago he was in the running late on Sunday, so not too long ago. But yeah, Jim Furyk, 7,000. That's kind of my final call. So that being said, any final thoughts? We ended last week on picking who was your favorite bet. So I guess we could do that again this week. Who's your favorite, more or less, dark horse bet besides the standard DeChambeaus and stuff up top?
Okay, well, I won't take, because I already mentioned him. We already said I bet Max Homa immediately. It's got to be Keegan, dude. Keegan's winning.
Dude, that's such a terrible bet. No. That's a nice dart. There were some people DMing me on the Bet Karma side of things, asking about those type of bets when they saw me make that today. Like, I think I posted Max Homa and somebody else dark. And
Keegan's 100 to 1.
A couple bucks. Yeah, it's a couple bucks. It's a lottery ticket. It's fun. Like, I agree. I actually love those type of bets because, you know, you get those horses in the race and it's super fun because you had hardly anything invested on them. I mean, last week I had freaking $20 invested on Corey Connors. He was there until late. My guy, you know, obviously this isn't necessarily as much of a dark horse as yours, but I believe I got the bet. Let me pull it up right now. 55 to 1. So great odds, good odds, you know, and I love Neiman this week. I actually thought he was going to be closer to the 40 range. And when I saw him at 55, I actually increased the bet a little bit. He's mega hot. This is the course. Like you said, he played well here last year, so he's seen it. I love when guys have at least seen it. It's scary betting the guys that have never seen a course. But Neiman's my guy, my pick. There's about 3 other bets I've made already, obviously at Bet Karma website, betkarma.com. All of our content you can find at dfskarma.com. Give us a shout out on the Twitter machine if you guys have any good winning lineups next week. And come join us, man. We're in Discord. It's a good time. It's fun. We tilt. Any other shout out, Sam? Anything I'm missing?
Shout out to my last friend Tony. Excited to play golf this weekend. And come to us Discord. We're playing Outlaw Showdown tomorrow, dude. It's showdown season.
We do like some showdown.
155-man field. Let's do it.
I'm in. All right, guys. Thanks. And we'll see you next week.